15 weeks.
I get the feeling that anybody who's watched multiple episodes is kind of like rolling the dice of like what our energy is going to be at the beginning of each of these. Is this gonna be one of those low energy ones where like Laura
we're just
literally
is just describing, the ins and outs of parenting and all these complications.
like where you immediately go into like, here's what I hate, here's who I hate, here's why I hate them, and what needs to happen now? Or is this going to be one of the yay episodes?
Well, and it's so much fun because this episode we're going to talk about a trip to the ER we did.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great hook. Oh, you know what we should do? You know how like everything on social media now, even for like a 30-second reel, has to have like clips of what is going to happen later in the episode? Yes. To entice you, because we don't have the attention span
that we used to have
to watch even a thing.
I watched an old movie that I loved when I was a kid. I barely got through it. I loved the old movie 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, like the old one.
Yeah.
The one with Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
I loved that movie when I was a kid. I'm watching it as an adult and I'm like, this is the most boring fucking shit I've ever seen. I'm like, I don't have the attention span anymore.
First of all,
my attention span when I was 5 was better.
You're totally right. Second of all, when you were telling me about the movie earlier, you were like, have you ever seen that movie 2 Leagues Under the Sea? Oh no, you said 20 Leagues Under.
I said 20 Leagues Under the Sea.
Which I'm like, is that like a prequel? Like that's awesome.
But we are 15 weeks.
15 weeks.
Baby is the size of a pear.
Baby's the size of a pear.
The ears and eyes have now moved to like the right place. Eyes have now moved from like the side of the head to the front of the head.
There was like little pieces when we were learning about that I was getting angry because I don't think I was told that they weren't in that place. And I was fantasizing about my child already having eyes in the right place. And the fact that it's like, they've officially moved where they're supposed to be. I'm like, they always were.
Well,
I don't know. I'm very defensive of my child.
Baby was looking a little Picasso for a moment, okay?
Just a bit, just a little.
And it's okay. Look, and there's nothing wrong. Like if baby wanted to maybe have creative eye placement, that was also okay. We support baby's creativity.
Sure. And cut back to some of the earlier episodes where we're like, it almost looks like a human. Like, hey.
It's definitely getting more human-like at the moment. But yeah, let's talk about what happened.
Okay, we're gonna jump into that.
Before we do, I want to just give hot pregnancy tip. So I have very pronounced hips, and I've been dealing with a lot of hip pain while sleeping. And we got a pillow top mattress cover. Oh. Yeah. I mean, never would have thought our mattress was firm. We have a purple mattress. Never would have thought of it as a top, but now I'm like, oh.
It's perfect.
It feels like we're sleeping in like a 5-star hotel.
It's like a cloud.
Yeah.
And imagine the difficulty that you already
Sleep has
feel.
gotten so much better for me.
Sleep's gotten better, but the idea of like any kind of productivity, because you have to push a little bit extra into the cushion to push yourself out of the bed. So you're just kind of like, I don't want to,
Getting out of bed was already hard.
It was already
tough. Near impossible.
Yeah.
Plus when we have the dog looking so cute in there, you're just like, fuck it.
Yeah. So definitely get one of those. The only downside of the mattress topper is that we can't take it with us on vacation.
That is because we are about to go on our baby moon.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are we going to bring this on the fucking plane? Shit.
I was like, honey, I think we're going to have to deal without it for a little bit. Like,
my sleep might be a little funky. So I was feeling the sharp pain about like every 5 to 10 minutes. And so I talked to my mom and I was like, Mom, I've been feeling this. I don't know. What do you think? And she said, call the doctor. She was like, absolutely call the doctor. And I said, okay. So I called the doctor. And we kind of went back. They asked me a lot of questions. They were like, well, do you have any other pain? Like, do you have a sharp pain in your back, running down your arm? Are you vomiting? Do you have a fever? Like they were going through a lot of stuff. And my answer was no, I'm feeling okay. And I said, like, the pain isn't making me double over, but it is like, I can notice it. Like it is making me, like, I can feel it.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, just go to the ER. They were like, we're not going to play around. Just go to the ER. And we're like, ugh. And I remember just going, God damn it, this is going to be my day now. And so I walked up to you and I was like, so going to the ER.
You said it so nicely. You were like, I need to go to the ER. And I was just kind of like, oh, shoes, pants.
I think
sure.
you were in a Zoom call or something.
Yeah, I was in the middle of a work call, but I was kind of like, okay, well, this is the. It was a weird thing where it's like usually
we got ready quickly but calmly.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was
yeah.
proud of us for that.
Yeah, and you were telling me how you were feeling, and we walked. We thankfully were able to like not many times you could say. So we walked to the ER.
We walked to the ER because you asked me. You were like, "Do we need to drive?" I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
no, I'm okay to walk. I am." And luckily, our hospital is a literal 10-minute walk from us. So we arrive, we check in. Now, here's probably the most important conversation and question we have for you, audience. So we check in, we go sit down. It doesn't look too busy. And I look to Dave and I go,
Oh, here we go.
yes. And I said, let's do an over-under. How long do you think we're going to wait? And Dave said 20 minutes. I said 40 minutes. And we get to 20 minutes and I go, all right, it's not been 20 minutes. And you were like, but.
Okay, so first of all, I didn't hear you say over under.
I said over under.
You didn't say it.
I said over under.
Didn't. But so I've never understood the idea of like Price is Right rules, which is if you're $1 over.
It's over under rules.
I know, and I don't understand why we use that. It should be who got the closest
It literally
physically.
is over under.
Yes, the term that you're using does make sense within the rules that you're suggesting. The rules that I'm suggesting are more fair and realistic and more indicative of how good someone is at guessing
that's not
something.
the game.
Oh my God. Oh my Lord.
That's not the game.
This is a pregnancy podcast. We told the audience that you had to go to the ER.
Yeah,
You can tell
and
she's
this is
fine.
the
You can tell
most
she's okay because this is what we're
important part.
arguing about.
Okay, so
Okay.
we waited for 37 minutes, so I won.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
The decision was whoever lost would buy the snackety snack afterward.
Yeah.
Which you did not. I went and bought my own raspberry rugula.
Yeah, but I bought you snacks from the vending machine and the quesadillas we had later.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we're fine. All right, fair. I will concede on that. So they checked my
I win. You heard her say it. I won. Sorry. Continue.
So they check my vitals, everything, and then they bring us back into this room.
First of all, we were riding high because 27 minutes or 37 minutes
37 minutes.
for the waiting room in an ER. Pretty great.
Yeah, 37 minutes is fucking nothing.
Every experience I've ever had at the ER,
It's like 4 hours minimum.
That's my whole day, and they don't even look at me until they're like, "Oh, you're still here? Yeah, come on." So we're riding high, going like, "Are we gonna get in and out of here?"
Like,
yeah.
oh my God, we're gonna have our whole day. This is gonna be great. So we got into the exam room, and we're talking to a resident isn't the right word, but it's a student doctor, whatever the correct word is. And so we're starting to talk. The student doctor is doing the intake with us, and they were like, okay, so like talk me through everything. So they go, okay, like, how many weeks are you and everything. And the reason that we were particularly a little nervous about this is the pain was on my right side, and in the last sonogram, they found a cyst on my right ovary. It was small. It seemed like nothing to worry about, but I was concerned that this cyst had grown. Is it rubbing up against something? I don't know. Like I had no idea. And I said, like, that's my concern, is that the cyst might be like want to rupture or something. And she was like, okay, yeah, absolutely. But we checked and everything and blah, blah, blah. So then she goes out and we're waiting 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she comes back with the doctor. And so we are now talking to the doctor, and she's going, so we're going to do a sonogram right now. She's like, we're going to do like a fast, quick, dirty sonogram to make sure that the baby's okay. But they're going to order me an official sonogram from upstairs where the fancy sonograms are.
Yeah.
And she's like, because we want to
We only have the rinky dink ones down here.
but we're going to send you up to the fancy ones, but we're just really quick, just going to make sure that the baby's okay.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, absolutely. And she asked me, looking at the student doctor, she was like, is it okay? Are you comfortable if the student doctor does the sonogram for educational purposes? This would be her first one. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
That's what I love about you. You're in pain trying to make sure your baby's alive, and yet you're kind of going like, yeah, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, I want to help out the new doctor.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here first. Yay.
Yeah.
I was really that to me felt like kind of special.
It was,
because
yeah.
everybody needs a first, and I was happy to be the first.
And you remember when your first is awful. And any job that you have, that first time where you're like left to your own devices, you remember when they suck. You're like, oh. So to be able to give someone a good experience like that was great.
We support our new doctors.
100%.
And so they started the
And they were doing a great job, by the way. There was no like, I don't really, they were kind of like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this.
The student doctor, I mean, you could have lied to me saying that was the official resident, like, and I would have been like, yeah, cool. But both of them were just both of the doctors were killer women. They were just being like fucking awesome. They were informative. They were really compassionate. They were hearing us. Like, they were being great. I really enjoyed working with both of them.
Real quick, though, I do have to say, and this is just in general, and this isn't, I don't mean this as like an insult. It is really weird, the world, because I understand there's an educational aspect to it. The world of going into a room and like telling all of your physical woes to someone who then goes into another room and tells tells everything that you said telephone style to somebody else who comes in. It's the same thing with like, going to a dentist, where it's like you get the hygienist who does the whole thing, and then the dentist comes in and you kind of have to repeat half the things that you, even if they relayed it correctly, you're kind of like, yeah, as I was saying to the other one. It is a game
of telephone.
It is weird,
it is
where it's like,
all
right, now you tell me what they told me, they told you. You know, like, okay. Anyway.
But so they get out the apparently less good sonogram machine. I mean, to us, it looked great.
Yeah.
It was great. And so the silver lining to all of this was we got to see the baby again, which was so wonderful. And the baby was moving the fuck around. Like, we got full facial view. Like, I could see the baby's eyes. We could see, and the baby was like rubbing its eyes and just kind of moving
doing really baby things. Yeah.
It was like full on moving her, and it was incredible to see. And the baby was totally good. They were like, yep, nope, everything looks good. Baby seems great. The heartbeat was healthy. Baby's movement was good. But my favorite comment though came from you though.
Yeah. Is this the Sith reference?
Yes.
So at one point, because like the way, because of the way the sonogram machine works, is that like the deeper they go, they literally like cut visually into the baby, and you can see the brain, and you can like, oh, now we're looking at the heart, and it's like they're cutting inside and out like an X-ray. And at one point, we just like I was recording it. We got the full skull of the baby. The baby went from like just kind of weird sonogram to like the skull of the baby. And it was like, it immediately reminded me of Return of the Jedi when Vader is picking up the Emperor to throw him away, to throw him down the shaft, and just gets electrocuted. And you just see Vader's skull for a second. So I immediately, while we're still there, finding out if you're okay, being told important things about you, I was like, making a side-by-side comparison of those two pictures so that I could be like, honey, check it out. We're having a Sith baby.
I mean, we don't know, like, we're not finding out the sex of the baby, but
it is a Sith.
It's a Sith baby. Like, that's way more important. I'm like, great, we have a Sith. See, now you saw Sith. When the baby was moving around, it reminded me of Hexus from Fern Gully when it's still in skeleton form. And like when it was moving around in the gook still, I was like, oh my God, Tim Curry, yay!
It is very, very
Tim
hard.
Curry, baby!
In situations where we're getting a sonogram or we're learning about the baby, and I'll have like either a joke or like a reference that I want to make to some nerdy thing, and like the doctors, even when they're nice, they're kind of like, what? Okay, no. So anyway, you are, and I was kind of be like, all right, sorry. It's just, it was nice to be able to see the baby again.
It was. That was the silver lining to the ER visit.
Yeah.
And obviously the fear of like, oh shit, is something wrong?
Yeah.
And so then they had me do a urine test, and then they had me do a blood test. And again, so I go over to the nurse's station, and the same student doctor and the like head doctor come over, and the head doctor said, would it be okay if she does your blood test? She's never done one before. Is this okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I went, yeah. Oh my goodness. And I was like, everyone's got to start somewhere. And like, for me, I don't have a fear of needles. I'm really not like, I'm okay. Even if and I knew in my head, okay, she might have to do it a couple times. And that's something that for me is okay. Yeah. So that's why I was like totally cool with it. And I did tell her as she's like getting ready, she even like fumbled the first needle. Like it shot back into the little casing. I don't know what it's called. And so she had to get a new one. And I told her, I was like, I'm really fine with needles. It's really okay. I promise. Cause I wanted her to know that like, if she screws up, like I promise I'm fine. But she did it so well. I could barely feel it. Like there was zero pinch, no pain. She did it like a freaking pro. So I was so if that doctor is listening, well done. You did great. They did the blood test, everything fantastic. And we then go back to our little room, and then we sit there for a minute, and then they get me a wheelchair, which felt like a lot, but I understand the precaution. And then they wheel us upstairs to where the official big sonograms are. And then we go get a big old sonogram.
We wait for a while.
Wait for a minute.
Outside the waiting room. Then we go in for the sonogram, for the big, better sonogram. Which was, I
mean, it is better. Like
it's way better. Yeah.
Like we could see the baby's spine. The technician was saying, "Oh, there's your baby's kidneys and gallbladder, and there are the 4 chambers of the heart." And we're just like,
so it's
shit.
like it's full complete baby, just smaller than normal. That's really
it's just a baby. It's still growing. It's still cooking.
But like all the pieces are there.
All the pieces are there.
And then the best part was we got the baby. We're used to at this point to like seeing a very specific kind of sonogram. It's at this angle and it's full baby, and baby will like kick or something. Baby just pulled out their hand and showed us their full hand.
And it just like was this like high five sonogram.
Yeah.
And it was just the baby saying hi.
It was the baby going, and we realized like, was this whole thing the baby's just a drama king/queen and wanted and wanted attention?
The baby just wanted attention. It just wanted to go, hi.
The baby just wanted to say hi.
So, yeah, we think like, okay, so the baby was just poking on mommy just to make us go to the ER so they could go, hello.
Hi, I'm going to come in a little bit. I just want you to know that I'm at the door.
I just wanted you to see how big I've gotten and how much I've grown. Look at my brain. Yeah. Look at my gallbladder. It's so big now.
So we got multiple pictures of the babies just straight up 5 digits. We can count how many digits there are on our baby's hand.
Yeah, and it's just going, hi.
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 Just incredible.
Yeah, so we got a really cool like sonogram picture.
So then we came out, we waited for...
So then we came down. So now we're at the waiting room.
Again,
because I have to be wheelchaired back down to the OG waiting room.
Yep.
So we're waiting for like 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, at least 40 minutes. Yeah, it was crazy.
And then I was like, honey, can you go check? And so you go in, and what did they say to you?
They were like, oh yeah, we haven't, nobody's like given you an orderly yet. I'll go make that happen. It's just the frustration. Look, I understand it's a busy place. I understand there's a lot of different things going on. In life in general, all I want to know is that people are working. I don't care if I'm at a restaurant and my food takes forever. I just don't want to look over and see my server playing Candy Crush. Like, is that too much? Like, if it's busy, as a former server, if it's busy, I will wait as long as you need because I get it. It's not your fault. The kitchen's backed up. Blah 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 blah. But it's this thing where it's like I don't know that everybody is working hard right now. Like we ended up waiting for hours.
Well, let's get the first. So the orderly comes up very quickly, actually, after
that, yeah.
So we go back down, we go into the waiting room. And we wait now in that waiting room for the sonogram, because we can't go until we get the sonogram results, because the sonogram was specifically looking at my ovaries, at the cyst, to make sure that everything was okay.
Now, by the way, when we say that we went to this other room, it's 2 floors in the same building. We're not going across across town to do this. So this information now in sonogram building is way over there.
No, it's 2 floors.
It's 2 floors in the same building.
So we are now waiting, and we haven't eaten, by the way. And we are in this like little mini waiting room.
Yeah.
And we are waiting there for how long were we there? 4
I mean,
hours?
we got to the ER at like 11:45 noon.
No, it was a little later than that.
It was a little, I mean, it was around there because that was when my meeting was.
Oh,
So
okay.
so we got there around noon. Now we're in this waiting room. It's 4 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. It's 5:30.
So we were in the mini waiting room, I think, for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I would every once in a while just like go in and check in with the doctor because I could see them like, hey. And,
Hi.
and the doctor was like, I'm so sorry. She was like, once we get later in the day, the sonograms take so long. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get them. She's now, and I'm like, I understand. But, and so eventually I was like, Dave, you got to go find a vending machine because like we're fucking, I need to put food in me.
Yeah, I had to go find a vending machine.
And then you got lost.
Okay, honey, it's like a movie in the 70s when they want to show somebody who's like high on some weird drug that they've never been on before, where like everything starts to, like, I looked down one corridor and it was like busy hospital emergency room corridor. I look down another corridor, busy hospital corridor. I look behind me where I came from. You're not there. It's the corridor, the first one that I look, and I'm like, oh no. And it happened immediately. I made one turn to make my way, and I'm like, well, this is like, I don't know where the vending machine is, and once I get it there, I have no idea how to get back to you. And I'm very self-conscious about like
and you
asking
call me
people.
And you're just like, where are you?
Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, I got to the vending machine, got some food, but I was coming back and I was like talking to somebody at one of the places I could find. And I was like, is there any identifying like structure or sign near you? And finally was able to find my way back to you, but it was harrowing. I had the worst day that day. It was, you might even say it was painful.
You did. Yeah. You poor, sweet little summer child. Oh, poor David. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That was my harrowing experience.
But we basically, so then eventually hours later when we got the sonogram results, the cyst is actually gone. Mm-hmm. It disappeared, which is great. And what they said was the rotation band ligament that is across the uterus, she's like, it's stretching. And she was like, it's probably that is what is causing the pain. Right. And she was like, it will ease up. It'll actually go away in time. And it's so funny because while we were in the OG waiting room, I called a friend who's an OBGYN and I was like, this is what's happening. Like, and they literally called it. They're like, it's probably the rotation band.
Yeah. They're like, that's my guess.
That's my guess. They're like, but they're like, no. It's good that you're there. Make sure that you get the sonogram, everything like that. Make sure everything's okay. But yeah, they, our OBGYN friend like called it. Thank you, Dr. Freddie.
So what this taught me is in the pregnancy, there are going to be situations like, because I feel like in life you get used to a certain kind of like, I know what my baseline health is. Yeah. I know what is emergency room visit. I know what isn't. I know what's a cold versus I need help.
It's different when you're pregnant. And I was told that by some other like pregnant friends of mine that they are like, you're going to have to just go to the doctor way more because what my friend was saying was she had food poisoning and she was like, food poisoning typically I ain't worried about it. I know it'll pass, but I'm pregnant. Yeah. I can't do that. I have to go to the ER. And it's like, and that really puts into perspective like, oh shit, I can't just deal with this shit. I have to go actually make sure I'm okay.
There's also this kind of thing where it's like, well, this isn't just me.
Yeah.
This is like this isn't me taking a risk. I'm probably fine. I mean, you shouldn't do that for yourself, but knowing that like there is literally another person who is going to be the beneficiary of you checking and making sure. And
I can't, like, what I do with my body does affect fetus, and I got to make sure that like if I want happy baby being born, I got to make sure that I'm like taking care of myself now.
Yeah. So it ended up like as I was saying, the frustrating thing to me is when I don't know if we're waiting hours because one person didn't see an email.
Well, I heard at one point that when they were checking us out, and I was like kind of like standing, getting some, steps in, and one of the, I think it was nurses, two nurses were talking about discharge papers, and they were like, okay, print out papers for Bloody Blue, Bloody, da da da, and Laura High. And I was like, oh, they're printing our papers out. Great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see them get distracted for like another 15 minutes. And I'm like, I know my discharge papers are right there.
Yeah.
And so, then I eventually do go up to the nurse, and because I'm like, I think she forgot at this point. And I was like, hey, I just wanted to check in. We were supposed to get our discharge papers, Laura High. She's like, oh yeah, I have them right here. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm like, look, I get, like, I can't imagine working in an ER.
I cannot imagine.
In New York City.
No. I mean, and I got lost when I was walking around getting lost. I just saw corridor after corridor of hundreds of people needing help. I am well aware of the complexity of it.
Yeah.
It's just for my brain not knowing. Like if someone came up to me and they went, here's exactly what you're waiting on. Here's exactly why we're waiting on it. Just so you know. We are waiting on this and this and this and this. This takes time to da 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 da. That's all I want. And I will wait happily all day. It's when I don't know. I think it's because I do come from a serving background. I do come from like my first jobs where like everybody else's job became 5 times harder because one person didn't want to do their side work.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, so who's holding us up now? What's going on? But we got a wonderful sonogram pictures of the baby.
And you and I got
saying hi.
so loopy in the emergency room. It definitely gave us like a little bit of an insight as to what labor and delivery is going to look like.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, we need to bring like some games. Like we're going to need shit to distract us.
I mean, just sitting for hours. I mean, thank God it was with you, who I'm so fully incredibly comfortable with. Like the idea of being with someone where there's any kind of like, oh no,
any awkwardness.
There's a lull in the conversation. What do we do now? Like, nightmare.
I mean, we were just
Nightmare
showing
fuel.
each other like dog videos on the internet. That's all we were doing.
We got really loopy by the end of that. We were just like, okay, so we've covered the two things. I wrote over under and baby looks like Darth Vader. Those are the two things.
I would actually love, because now at this point we have been publishing the episodes. We're getting questions in.
We are.
So I would like to pull those up.
Ooh, lovely. First of all, the reaction and response has been, for the most part, absolutely phenomenal. We're so incredibly thankful.
It's been all really great.
Not on my end. Everybody's
Really?
everybody's very upset that I didn't know how to take off a bra with one hand.
Is that true?
The number like I'm getting a lot of like really, bro? Really? And I'm like, oh, I tried to post a funny clip on social media here and I'm getting dogpiled, but yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's the internet. What did you think was going to happen? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
For one second.
What did you think was going to
That's a good
happen with
point.
that one?
Fair enough.
I mean, I was really surprised that was the clip you picked, and I was like, okay.
I just thought it was funny, and that's not the only one from that episode.
I mean, it is funny, but you kind of have to know it's like, okay, like,
but we have had some incredible. I've gotten some incredible advice about like good positive energy, dad tips, videos, all sorts of really good stuff.
Okay, so we got a question from @Beth, and then there's more username that I'm unsure of how to pronounce. But Beth says, as a mom of 5, I'm so excited for you to have this experience. It's truly the most wonderful, hard, beautiful thing I've ever done with my life. I hope the rest of the pregnancy goes well and you have a healthy baby and healthy mom at the end of this journey.
Love that. Absolutely love that.
Very sweet.
Boy, if only that hotel manager could have had that vibe.
I also really appreciate, we're getting a lot of comments from like child-free people. We've got one here that says, not a parent, child-free, and going through peri, I hope, and I'm so happy and excited for you. I have no advice, but just hormones. And I just want, like,
Thank you.
I appreciate that so much. It always means, even though, like, I always find it really, I don't know, loving, kind when people don't have shared experiences, but they're still here to support.
Right.
I think that's so lovely. Like, in the same way that, like, I like our, our best friends are child free and want to remain child free. And I love that for them.
Yeah, no, live vicariously through us. If this isn't like, I don't think like I would love for this podcast to be helpful and fun for parents, but
well,
also
I don't think anyone. I mean, child-free people don't want to live vicariously through us. They're actively like don't want to do this.
That's true. But like hey, you wanna live in a world for a hot second where we're talking about this sort of stuff. Hopefully, we're making it fun. I've got one ready for this. This is from Crows. When my son was being born, the first thing the midwife asked was, "Do you want to catch the baby?" No one mentioned this prior. I caught my 2 girls, but sorely regret not saying yes the first time. If it's even remotely an option, do it. So we need to talk about, are you okay with me catching the baby?
I want you to catch the baby.
You want me to catch the baby?
I want you to catch the baby.
Now,
look, if it was me and I was on the other end, absolutely not. We know my hand-eye coordination.
Right.
You've got good hand-eye coordination.
I would feel a lot more comfortable if the verb wasn't catch. I feel like, do you want to be there? Do you want to envelop the baby as the baby comes out? Catch implies there is some sort of hand.
They're shooting out of there.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen me at a batting cage. It's not great.
Well, you're not batting the baby.
Okay, good. All right.
And I'm pretty sure the doctor will be there with supervisions and an extra mitt.
Yeah.
Oh, here we have a tip.
Mm-hmm.
Laura, a little money saving. This is from @Sarah Schultz. Says Laura, a little money saving advice about the enlarging tatas, which are definitely happening. You have taken notice to that. If you plan to breastfeed, which I do, go ahead and buy nursing bras now. You'll need a bigger size while you're nursing anyway, and the nursing bras give a lot of support during pregnancy. Congratulations again, you two. Baby High Colombo is going to be very loved. BT Dubs, I'm so glad to hear that I'm not the only person who thinks gender reveal parties are stupid.
Nice.
And I
Love
was like,
that.
yeah, I do. I have to say, like, once, like, and I have also said, like, we're not gender reveal party people.
Yeah.
Like, that is just not who we are. The amount of people that I've seen come out of the woodwork going, yes, yes, they are weird. Yeah. And I feel so relieved that it's like, oh, thank God. There's a lot of people who are going, mm-mm.
I think they're going to slowly die out. I feel like there's a very small minority of people who love them, and then there's people who tolerate them, and then people who don't like them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that group is getting bigger, and eventually it's just going to be like, no, I'm not going to, or like they're going to throw them, but fewer and fewer people are going to come.
Do you know the person who invented gender reveal parties? Like, because it was they posted a picture of a cake they cut into, and it had, I think, pink frosting in it.
Yeah.
And this was the first one, said that they absolutely regret it.
Really?
Yeah,
what time was that?
Sometime in the 2010s.
That was the first one?
It was the first one.
That's
yeah.
like when you find out that like the high five was invented in the 70s. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was in the 2010s. And they posted the first, and they really, really regret it.
They regret it?
Yeah, they regret it for, they're like, one, like the fact that that gender reveals have caused like forest fires.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, this shit's stupid. Now, if I remember correctly, and I might not be, I also think they have said they also regret it for like transphobia reasons of going like, but what if the kid is trans? It's, adding more into like, but I think they said that as well, but take that with a grain of salt. I might be wrong. I do specifically remember saying like the fact that they have gone like as literally as explosive as they have been. They're like, this is stupid.
Wow.
So yeah, no, the person who invented gender reveal parties is like, I regret it.
That's crazy.
I know.
It's
Oh,
nuts.
somebody reacted. So I said like I have a really weird fear that the baby's going to get switched in the hospital or something. Somebody said hospitals now put a matching ID band on baby and both parents and match them at every chance they get to ensure no baby swapping / kidnapping. When you tour your hospital, which I think we're going to be doing in this trimester, they'll tell you how their system works. And as for the hair heartburn thing, because I've been getting a lot of heartburn, old wives' tale means that the baby is going to be growing some hair. There is actual correlation between the two. I want to say about 80% of the time it's true. Science just doesn't know why that's a thing, though they acknowledge the strong connection. It was true for both my babies. So, Dave, how are you going to feel knowing that your baby is going to have more hair than you?
Give me something to braid. Teach me to braid, and then give me something to braid. Yeah.
Ooh, this is a good one. Hi, X-ray technologist in training here. The reason a sonographer won't tell you anything is because it's drilled into us to not diagnose or state anything about your situation, since we're not the doctor and didn't even do med school. One, it's a liability, and two, we could just say the wrong thing.
Right.
That makes total sense.
That makes total sense. I wish that was communicated to us at the beginning, because we don't know who knows what. We walk into a room, we tell someone how we're feeling, we and they do give a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love if that were common knowledge, either through them communicating that, or if that's just something that is taught.
I just wish they could say something. They're just like, hey, by the way, I can't really say what's happening because I'm not the doctor. I'd love, this is a really good one. This is from @Kelsey. This is such a fun podcast. I'm so happy for you guys. I don't know if you guys are taking questions. We totally are from listeners, or if this is too personal, but I'm so curious on if how Laura's experience as a donor-conceived person affected you while you were dealing with infertility, when you were getting tests done to check for male-female factor infertility. Were you ever anxious about the possibility that you wouldn't be able to use one of your gametes, or did that idea not bother worry you? I'm so excited to watch the rest of your episodes. Kelsey, I am so excited you asked this question, and I am going to answer it. Okay. Yes, it absolutely affected how we dealt with infertility. 100%. And I want to make this very clear. I am not against donor conception in the least bit, but Dave and I did decide that if we're not going to get pregnant unless we use donor conception, we were not going to do donor conception. The farthest Dave and I were willing to go was IVF, using our own gametes, and knowing that there was a chance we would have to make peace with the fact that we might not be parents. That might not be in our life plan. That might not be how our cookie crumbles. And that was something that was really scary. It's awful when you're going through it, but it is something that I would want more people to it's unfortunately accept that not everybody gets to be a parent. And that's, especially if that's what you want, that's what you've been dreaming of, like, that's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And I personally believe, and it's why I fight so hard to have better donor conception regulations, to have fertility treatments be more accessible, is because I do think everybody should have equal opportunity to become a parent. Everyone should be, whether you are struggling with infertility, LGBTQIA, single by choice, you should absolutely have the same opportunity. But it doesn't mean life owes you a baby. In the same way, I think everybody should have the opportunity to go after their dream career. It doesn't mean you're going to get it, though. But everyone should have the same chance and the same opportunity too. And I think we've sort of convinced ourselves that everyone is owed a baby and that you should do anything necessary to get a baby. And that's where I think my life as a donor-conceived person and my advocacy really kind of, I would say, kept me in check, because I could definitely feel the infertility trauma coming in. Like, I would feel the little voice in the back of my head saying, do the extreme thing, go do it now. Like, I could feel the little monster in my head.
Well, because we were so frustrated with our infertility, and we were like, if you had told me, hey, I could do a magic wand and make you not know as much as you know, and then I can tell you these avenues that you can go down that could possibly raise your percentage chance. It's like, oh, I get people wanting to do whatever they possibly can to have a child. We just know too much. And I say too much as in, like, we know enough to know what's healthy and unhealthy and what's right and wrong. Yeah.
And I want to be clear, we were willing to do IVF. We absolutely were. That was just as far as we were going to go, and as comfortable as we were. And again, it's not that I'm against donor conception, just donor conception wasn't right for us. That was where for us, I would have said we're just not going to become parents. And with IVF specifically, my condition with IVF was we have to exhaust all other things first. We have to try all other methods. IVF is insanely expensive, for one. I mean, you're dropping $20K, and it's a lot on the body. And it's like, I was like, we need to be sure that IVF is the only option. Mm-hmm. And I do see, and it already started with us with dealing with the doctors, where they were already starting to push IVF on us pretty early. Like they were already kind of going like, well, you know, when there's IVF, you have a good AMH, so you'd be a good candidate for IVF. Like they were already pushing it on us, and without ever really diagnosing and figuring out why are we having problems. Mm-hmm. And it was. And
you definitely had to lead the conversation more than once, where you were like, well, I think you were not passive in the experience of them going, well, you know, like,
I was pushing back going, no, we're not ready to do IVF yet. What other procedures can we do? What other tests do we need to run? Do we need to do this? How about this? Can we check for this? To just ensure that, like, have all options been exhausted first before we go to IVF. Because again, if I'm going to drop that fucking $20K, I need to know that, yes, this is the only option.
Yeah.
And when there are so many other things the doctors should test for and do beforehand, it was like, no, we have to do, as I think I said recently, it's like, there's a staircase. Don't skip steps. Mm-hmm. Now, there are in some instances where IVF, and I want to be very clear with this, IVF is your only chance. If anybody, there's some wonderful content creators on TikTok who also just got pregnant, and the wife has stage 4 endometriosis and lost her fallopian tubes. The only way they could get pregnant was through IVF. Yeah, you just jump to IVF, 100%. Mm-hmm. So I did, like, there are instances where you go to IVF, but that wasn't our case, and it's not the case for most people. And I do really want to encourage people that when you are dealing and you're talking to the doctor, make sure you're going in educated. Like, make sure you're getting all of your tests done, and you're not just getting, okay, you're suffering from infertility for 6 months, IVF. Like, push your doctors to really test you.
Look, I don't want to. I feel like we're talking around the phrase "do your research," because neither of us want to adamantly shout on a podcast, "Man, do your own research, man." Yeah, but this world is absolutely a world we now have firsthand experience where. Yes, doctors are extremely educated and can help guide you and get get the results that you want, but they're also not going to know specifically how to communicate to you, nor are they going to like be inclined to speak to specifically you what's literally best for you, because they've in their head done all of the work to find out what you need, what you don't need. They're going to throw out kind of generalizations, and it's going to be on you to do your work, do your education, know what you're coming in with, know what your other options are, and work with your doctor to make that good decision.
You got to know what questions to ask.
Yeah.
And again, if they tell you something like, hey, we really need to move to IVF, and you're like, well, what about this procedure? What about this? And if they say something very much like, you have stage 4 endometriosis, you do not have fallopian tubes. You're gonna go to IVF, like 100%. But if they're saying, yeah, you're having unexplained infertility and they haven't done an HSG yet, you push them to do an HSG. Make sure that like they've checked all of your tubes. Make sure that they've done the procedure to see if you have endometriosis. Double check, like, have you done thorough exams to make sure, and thorough tests to make sure you don't have PCOS? If you are with somebody who makes sperm, has their sperm been tested? Like, make sure that you're doing everything first. You got to do your homework. And yeah, it's your. So go in just knowing the right questions to ask is really it. That's all you have to do.
That's well said, because it's like it can be a lot to say, like, come in having done your own research and you already know what you're going to do. That's not the answer. The answer is know what questions to ask so that the doctor can guide you in an educated way.
Because I'm not a doctor. I can't, like, I didn't know. I mean, I went into this learning so much, but like I wasn't a doctor, but I did know the right questions to ask. And I was already fairly aware of certain procedures. I mean, they're talking about clinics, which I know, and everything. So like there was a lot of things that I was already kind of, the fact that I was going in as me gave us an edge to make sure that we were getting thoroughly all the checks we needed to.
Mm-hmm.
I think also as well, something that's really influenced me as a donor conceived person whose parents struggled with infertility. Infertility exists. Like this wasn't something that for me was like this, like, oh my God, what? Like I was very like, yeah, infertility happens all the time. Okay, like this happens. I also, again, because of what I've done, know that some people are infertile for like they struggle with infertility for a few years and then bam, baby. That is so, it happens all the time. So it was like, I think because of the work I've done, I had a realistic timeline in my head. Mm-hmm. And I had my expectations well managed. And I was also able to manage the infertility trauma monster well. Mm-hmm. And that was very helpful to me. And I really looked at this opportunity that I saw. I was like, well, what's the silver lining? The silver lining was I was now going to actually become a better advocate. Yeah. Now I've gone through infertility. I've gone through the procedures. I was dealing with the doctors. And now I can better understand a lot of what parents go through and the fear, the anguish, seeing that not pregnant pop up again another month in a row. I was like, I'm ready. And I, to me, even though going through infertility was really sucky and shitty, I do feel like it made me a better advocate. Mm-hmm. And I am grateful for that. Because, yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, I think that answers the question. Okay. Yeah.
Love that.
There's something I realized recently today that I'm going to totally switch topics that I do want to talk about. So I'm getting big fast. Uh-huh. I'm getting big real fast. Like I am pregnant. I'm no longer in the beer belly stage. Like I am full on pregnancy. And going through pregnancy as somebody who has suffered from eating disorders and body dysmorphia their whole life is a fucking trip. Yeah. Being pregnant with eating disorders is both triggering and healing all at the same time.
It's like someone who's afraid of heights getting on a roller coaster. It's like face your fear through your fear, get in there.
Because I have to eat.
Yeah.
I have to nourish my body. I have to look at food as fuel. And because it's not just my body, it is also my future baby's body that I have to think about. And I have to make sure my body is working at full capacity. And because like I'm that person who's like technically been on a diet since they were like 13 years old. And I had to, while we were trying, I had to eat all the calories I needed to for fully function. I couldn't eat my, 1,300 calories and I see myself getting bigger. And it is both miraculous. It's incredible. I'm amazed by what my body is capable of doing. It's so cool. It's also scary because I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It is triggering also at the same time. But it's also amazing. Like it's both. And I definitely I can hear the eating disorder monster again talking to me. And I'm just like, bro, not the time. Like this ain't your moment right now. I'm so sorry. But that's been an interesting experience so far. It's been going through that.
It's been very, I know that, hey honey, let me make you feel better by telling you how hot you still are. Is not the play. But you should know from my end, I am just blown away at how well you're handling. When I see you physically walk into a room holding your tummy.
In my big old belly.
In your big old belly.
My big old belly right now.
It attracts me to you in ways it's opening new like doors in my head.
Is it because my boobs are bigger?
It's not. that doesn't hurt, but that is not.
Were my boobs small?
No. Oh my God, I can't say the right thing at all. I mean, I love the way you walk into the room and you're like, my boobs are so much bigger. And in my head, the inside out version of my head is like, what do we say? What do we do? Is this entrapment? What's going on? Seeing you.
But then there's also the still like middle schooler Dave that's in there just going,
oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Beavis and
Score,
Butthead.
man.
I have Beavis and Butthead in there going, that's what I have.
Yeah.
But seeing you and watching you adjust to this new physical change has shown me a side of you that is very attractive. That I kind of always assumed that I wouldn't have tried to have kids with you if I didn't think that I would be attracted to you as a mom, because I'm already making that judgment call. But the fact that like I'm watching it now going like, yeah, this is great is so from my end, I'm seeing an incredibly powerful, amazing in partner who is just crushing it, and it is enticing.
I do think that was actually a big piece of like why you and I fell in love as hard as we did was I think for both of us, it was like, I not only want to raise a child with this person, I want a child exactly like that person.
Yeah.
There needs to be more of that person.
I don't know if it's apocryphal just because my mom was a little melodramatic sometimes, but that was the thing that she said when she met my dad. First time she saw him, she's like, I want to make babies with that guy. and as a kid,
And you do look a lot like your dad.
I do. As a kid, hearing that, I was always kind of like, well, yeah, because the world revolves around me, and I totally like, obviously. But now as an adult, I'm like, you do need to get to that stage. You don't need to get to that stage, but like a lot of us will get to that stage where like you go into like, well, I don't know, but I just want to meet somebody, and we both like nerdy stuff. Yay. Oh, that's great. But then you hit an age where you're just kind of like, I want to walk into a room and know that's the mother of my kids. Like that's really important. And if I can't see that, it doesn't matter how physically attracted I am to that person. It doesn't matter even how emotionally attracted I am to that person. I don't even know if I want to have kids. I just know that it's important to me that you check that box, that you would be a good mother or father of my kids. And like, that's important.
One, I don't know, quote, piece of advice that I heard in, I think I was like 30 years old when I heard this, and it rings so true. And I think it's to me, it's one of the best marriage advice, marriage pieces of advice I've ever heard. It was, when you are with somebody, you're with the right person. You are. If you look at them exactly as they are, strip away every potential, all dreams, everything, exactly as they are. Now imagine if you had a child just like that, would you be proud? And if the answer is yes, you got it.
Yeah.
If the answer
Hold
is
on.
no, you may need to have a tough moment and a tough conversation.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such a good fucking saying. I thought that was such a good, like, to me, it was like, fuck yes.
When you're,
that just makes so much sense.
When you're with someone who you're like, if 19 variables go my way, yeah, like no. You need someone where like if things play out exactly as they may, are you proud of this? Are you happy with this? Would you be content? I mean, it's that simple like philosophy of like, don't try to change the person. Like do you like them as they are?
Yeah, you can't fall in love with the potential of a human being. You have to fall in love with them exactly as they are, as is, not the what you think, or it's like you love them as is, as are, or you need to walk away.
I do think that's a generational thing too, where like I see it in our parents' generation and older than that. There's this mindset of like, I don't know if it was like a conscious manipulation, but it does seem like, oh, this relationship I'm looking at of these two older people, one of them just like morphed into the thing that the other person needed and the other one didn't change at all. Like you see this weird kind of relationship and you're like, oh, that's not enticing to me. If we got together and you suddenly just started to like all of the things that I liked and all you did was cheerlead for exactly what I want. I'm like, we're not growing together. We're not.
But there are some people who just that's what they
There's some
want.
people that's what they want.
That's all they want is a cheerleader, which is like, that's, to each their own.
Very early on in the relationship, we made it very clear to each other, I want you to call me out. Mm-hmm. I want you to be able to have a hard conversation. If I'm doing something fucked.
Because I did call you out pretty early on.
Yeah, and I called you out too.
When did you call me out?
We were in a situation.
What do you mean?
I called you out.
I've done nothing wrong.
Right. Okay.
No, I'm curious. What was it? Because I know when I called you out, I remember the first time I ever called you out.
There was a thing where we had talked about the fact that you kind of aren't hyper aware of maybe some signals being received by other people, and we were in a social situation where you
were calling out my autism before I got diagnosed.
Yes,
that's what it was.
Well, I wasn't. You were communicating that you knew that about you, and that you wanted me to call you out when I saw that. Yeah. And we were in a situation where you kind of bum rushed through, and you passed a bunch of signals that somebody was like giving to not do what you were doing. And after the fact, I was like, hey, that was one of those situations. And if you can get to that point with your partner where you can be like, I love you. You know I'm here. You know this is coming.
You know,
yeah. So, but I can say something, just so you know, and know that you're not going to get unhealthily defensive towards me, and jump at me about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to do the same thing to you. I mean, it's just going to take some time before you find anything wrong with me. But once you do, I'm sure it might happen one day. But
how quickly did I call you out the first time? It was like a few weeks.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it was
a few weeks, few days.
Few days, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we are running pretty long. I think we've covered a massive amount of good stuff.
So let's call it for Pear Week. But please leave your questions in the comment section or any piece of advice that you think is great, because we're happy to share it with the whole community. Thank you again so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, send it to a friend. Make sure you also follow us on social media. And please know that we also post our show schedules a lot on Instagram. So if you ever want to come see us live, please do. I've got a lot of awesome shows coming up. I'm touring a bit. So please double check my Instagram and my website, www.laurahighfive.com.
And if you do want to come see us live, reach out, let us know. We'll hang out. We'll talk to you. We'll like we are not.
We don't have the kid yet.
We don't have the kid yet.
So we can stay. We can hang for a minute.
There's been times where people have been like, I didn't want to say anything. Like, no, say hi, please. Come to us and say hi. We want to hang out. You know?
Yeah. It's exciting for us.
But again, this has been an incredible week of adventure, discovery, and sitting in a waiting room that smelled terrible.
It smelled so bad.
It was really bad.
It was really bad.
But until next time, this has been Kidding.
Yay.